Hello, everyone. Can everybody see and hear me? As always, with these live events, I'm not really sure what's happening. I'm just talking to the screen or to the camera, and I wonder if people can see me and hear me on LinkedIn and on YouTube and on the other platforms. So, if you do hear me and see me, please put your comment below the video, or at least give me the thumbs up, please, that you can hear me. Just as a sound check, thank you. So today we're going to be talking about working as an electrical engineer in the UK. From my experience, of course, having been here for 10 years now. And apologies if I don't sound very enthusiastic. I am a bit under the weather, and I did not want to cancel this event. Okay, all is good. Thank you very much. Thanks for confirming that my audio and video are coming through well. So, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. For those who don't know me, my name is Mohammed, and I am an electrical engineer from Egypt, and I work in the UK as a director of design and engineering for a company called Orius, where we build substations and energy. We're in the energy construction and in the infrastructure projects sectors across highways, railway, and energy. Good evening. Right, let's get started then. I wanted to speak about, well, a lot of the questions I get are about working in the UK. What's your experience working in the UK? How does it feel as an engineer from outside of the UK? And I receive a lot of questions and a lot of messages around what kind of experience you have so far over here. And a number of people sent me telling me that they're considering offers to join companies in the UK. So that's a huge responsibility. And I hope that I can help some of you with some of my personal experiences and stories from the time I've spent here. And again, apologies if I sound or come across not as enthusiastic. It's not a reflection on this on this event. It's just that I'm under the weather. I think I've picked up a virus or something, and I've also been traveling. I had a long day, so bear with me. So, as a disclaimer, this is my opinion, and it's based on the limited time I've spent here, and it's based on my personal experiences as an engineer working in the energy construction sectors. I've worked in two sectors, but probably in the infrastructure in the UK since I've came here 10 years ago, as I told you. And the two of them are related to electrical engineering, so energy and railway electrification. So I wouldn't be able to advise you on anything else or any other sectors that I do not know about. And my experience has been so far on high voltage substations and the projects in that area. So if you have any questions, just put them in the comment section, please. And the outline for today is, first, I would like to go through what is it like working as an engineer in the UK, especially from a different background, and what makes somebody successful in an interview in or for an electrical engineer job in the high voltage industry or in the infrastructure industry or substations field. And how do engineers come to the UK? Because a lot of people ask me this question, and what are the routes for engineers to try working in the UK, because it is a good experience. And I do, the if you want to skip the whole interview just to the or sorry the event to the um, bottom line, I do recommend traveling for work. 100%. It broadens your horizons. It adds a lot of experiences, and there is a lot in leaving and going to a new place, a new culture, culture, different work experience, different projects, different ecosystem. Everything is different. And then you learn more about yourself. You really discover yourself when you travel, um, and work in different places. So, not just the UK. If you have an opportunity to try something different in your career, go for it, as long as it fits, of course, your personal circumstances and lifestyle and work-life balance and all that good stuff. But for me, excuse me, for me, traveling has been a real eye opener. Um, and you learn a lot by coming across or meeting different people who work in different countries and from different backgrounds. This is just one of the really good things about being an engineer. We're really lucky because as engineers, the skill sets and the experiences are mainly transferable. So they do apply globally and generally almost everywhere, with little nuances here and there. But the bottom line is, as an engineer, go for it, travel, try something new. That's one of the best things you're going to do in your career and in your life. I'll also try and answer some frequent questions I get. And again, any questions, put them in the comments. And I can already see some comments with some questions. Great, I'll get to them. So bear with me. And by the way, if you're joining us live, and I see a lot of people joining us live, so please put in the comments, where are you joining me from? And if you watched the previous lives, what did you like about them? I've been thinking about this live thing with LinkedIn, and I feel like I want to take, I want your opinions as well. I want to move the live to Substack, to make it more, let's say, focused, because I'm really interested in not gathering a crowd, but connecting with, or connecting more with the people who really could benefit from a more direct connection. And I feel like Substack is a better place for this. I feel like over there it's focused. On LinkedIn, I get people from all over, everywhere. I could get people from different industries coming and leaving comments on stuff that I don't, half of the time I don't know what they're on about. But look, everyone's welcome. Opinions, of course. And I just want to focus on trying to help and trying to learn from the electrical engineers, especially the next generation of electrical engineers. I'm doing this because it's to push myself in terms of public speaking and hopefully grow more in that regard. But at the same time as well, it's about learning from the next generation of engineers. And I think this is the best way we're going to learn from the next generation of engineers and find out what the industry is going to look like in the near future, because it is changing and it's evolving in a pace that haven't witnessed before. So let me know if you've watched the previous lives, and tell me your opinion. Okay, what's it like working in the UK? I think it's reasonably quiet for an engineer compared to other places where I've worked. I've worked in Egypt and in Saudi Arabia, and over there, in my experience, the projects I worked on were very busy projects. They were priority projects. There was a lot done. But I feel that in the UK, I was lucky as well to work on big projects and critical projects, and I learned a lot here. But From my observations, or observation from living here in the UK, there are quiet places. So if you are an engineer who wants like a place to basically just do the job, enjoy a slow rhythm outside of work, and at the same time, like, spend time with family, friends, or your hobbies, or further grow your skills and learn new things, then I think the UK is a good place for that, because it does, offer that kind of like individuality and like personal space, if you like, as an engineer. Now, on the other hand, there are big projects, and there are, massive busy projects and schemes here happening all the time. So it really depends what you're after. The people here are generally very respectful of others, and I'm not just saying that, but I can't remember, maybe a few times that I felt, you know, other than that, but very, very few times across the 10 years. So, in general, I think people are the same everywhere. When you travel more and experience different countries and different workplaces, etc., you really understand that we're all the same. It's just different shapes and different, forms and ways of expressing ourselves and different cultures and backgrounds, but we're all basically the same. So, in my experience, people here in the UK are generally very respectful of others. Um, there is a good thing and a bad thing about, considering the UK as a place to work as an engineer. You get to know a new culture in good ways, and in some challenging ways, culture outside of the work and inside of the work. So, you got to be a person who can adapt, is flexible, and is open to these new experiences. Otherwise, you're going to struggle. And this is just not the UK. This is anywhere. Different cultures will are a thing to enjoy, really. So I see it that way, at least. There are unique challenges here when it comes to the projects. There are very, very unique challenges specific to the UK. Excuse me. And that's not because of the UK as a country. It's just across the board. Any country you go to, there are going to be unique challenges. The ground conditions, when we talk about projects in construction, the ground conditions are different here. The codes and standards, the types of clients, the way the grids and the systems are split and organized and regulated. The legacy of existing systems and substations are different. The environment is different. So there are a lot of differences when you get to work on UK projects. So again, as an engineer, this is a very unique opportunity. And one of the really good things about being an engineer is to experience these different conditions and challenges and constraints, and find solutions within these different constraints. That really, sharpens you or hones your skill set. You become a much more skilled engineer when you work on different constraints, or work on different projects with different constraints. As an observation, most projects here, compared to other projects elsewhere where I've worked in the Middle East, but projects here, they tend to take their time more. And again, that's just because of the working culture. There's nothing wrong or right about, different ways. And I'm not certainly in a place to judge any of that, but projects here go through different stages than projects or the same or similar projects elsewhere. And different regulations, of course. And the question people ask, or you got to ask yourself that question before making any move to any country, really. Will you be able to gain a lot of experience? I think so, yes, depending on some sectors. So, for example, personal story, I worked in Saudi Arabia before coming to the UK. And to be honest, the projects over there are on a different scale. That's just a fact. And projects over there in Saudi Arabia, especially, and in Egypt as well, they're big projects. You have big substations, They are sometimes very sizable projects compared to here. But at the same time, I've been lucky here, so I've been on the big schemes and the big projects here in the UK as well. So again, you know, will you be able to gain a lot of experience? Yes. If you choose the right sector, if you choose the right career path, you will gain a lot of experience, no doubt about it. Absolutely. Um, the workforce here is actually diverse more than what people think, and the people generally in the engineering sector are very open-minded and well educated. As I told you, you can pick a quiet place where there is an emphasis, or there is more, I think, in general, more emphasis on work life balance. That's the culture. Flexibility with work. Again, a lot of companies here, they offer the flexible working, regardless what we think about that. And, the efficiency of that on construction projects, etc., etc. That's not the debate, and we're not going to debate anything here. We're just talking about personal experiences and, trying to understand more about the views here. But in general, a lot of companies give a lot more flexibility. And the good thing about the UK, or the really exciting thing, in my opinion, is that the UK is just embarking on a very ambitious energy plans, decarbonization plans. I think the UK is, and I'm sorry, I can't remember the exact figures now. I should have prepared better for this, but the UK is looking to double its offshore wind capacity and triple its onshore wind capacity. And I think they're looking at something like 7 times the grid upgrades, so including the overhead line. And that's just it's just a very ambitious and massive plans for energy. So again, this means that there is a lot of work for electrical engineers, and that's just ignoring anything else. As I said, there are a lot more sectors than I know about. Manufacturing, even in energy, there is a lot more sectors. So I can't sit here and claim that I know about all of them. I only can talk and speak about what I've experienced personally. And your career can progress very well with some extra efforts, of course. There is less competition here, I found, because the supply of qualified engineers is less than the demand in most times that I have witnessed here. And it's a good destination for engineers. However, this is now changing. There is a lot of other countries and places that are competing with the UK and starting to take away that talent as well. So we'll see how it pans out in the next few years. We mentioned about regulations, etc., but some of the projects here in the UK are mind blowing, really state of the art technologies. I worked on an electrification project of of a major railway scheme, and the digital substation or substation automation technology on that project was state of the art, nothing like it. But having said that, majority of the projects are not there yet, I'm afraid. So you can be lucky, and I was certainly very, very lucky to be on these highly technological, state of the art projects and learn a lot. At the same time as well, there is very, very good mentors here. So I met and still meet on a day-to-day basis some of the most skilled people. And you can pick up a lot of good skills here in the UK. I think the British working culture is very strong when it comes to business management, program management, portfolio management, financial management. I think they're second to none. So if you're interested in going down that route, and contractual management, of course. So if you're interested to take your engineering career down one of those routes, then I don't think there is a better place, or certainly it's one of the best places out there, in my opinion. And of course, technically, there is a lot of skilled people from everywhere, so you can still learn. Um, technical elements and design and so that's not lost on us. Okay, right. Uh, shall we do some questions or shall I continue with the points? Let me know. I can see a lot of comments and a lot of questions. That's good. Can everyone hear me okay? I know it's a bit too late. What are we? We're 20 minutes in. I don't think I can last an hour today, but we'll see because, as I told you, I'm a bit under the weather and had a long day and traveled. And the good thing about the UK is that size wise, I think it's not a very, very big country. So you can travel to sites and come back within the same day at least. I've been lucky to do that on the jobs I've worked on. So today I was in Reading and we talked about GIS, and it was a really good, informative day with the one of the clients and one of the manufacturers that we work with. Okay, so what do you want to do? Do you want to take questions and comments, or shall I carry on? I'll carry on. Okay. So who lands jobs in the UK? I'll tell you 3 points, but in general, in very general terms, good experienced people with good communication skills and collaboration skills and a strong track of delivery. So they're independent, deliverers, if that makes sense, of projects. And they gotta be strong, experienced, wise. Now, this is no surprise. This is common to everywhere. However, language is the number one barrier that I see people struggle with. Um, People have to be reasonably very well or reasonably well with English. And they need to be able to articulate their experience and skill set and, put their point across very well. And also understand the questions, understand the context, understand when people communicate to them very well on technical matters and on other matters related to the project. That's just a given. And if your English language is not good, written and vocal, then I'm afraid you're going to struggle. So this is the one thing that I see really, really good engineers, excellent engineers, and their language skills might not be, you know, up to the level. So they struggle and then they don't get the opportunities or they don't get the best opportunities. So that's one thing that I think a lot of people need to focus on if they are looking to be interviewed for a role in the UK, and if they want to be successful, of course, in that role. And skill set and experience. Have you worked on similar assignments or projects? And I've said that we in engineering, a lot of it, especially in electrical engineering, in substation and high voltage, a lot of it is very transferable. The context is more or less the same. There is, of course, local context everywhere you go in every country and every different power grid you work on. However, in the UK, it's got a massive and great legacy when it comes to electricity. So the people who succeed or the people who are able to land jobs from outside of the UK into the UK are the ones who have worked on projects that are similar or relevant to the same assignments they are presenting themselves for in the UK. And I've been very lucky. I've worked on large projects, as I said, in Saudi Arabia. And, that made me a good candidate for coming on one of the biggest jobs here in the UK as a senior engineer. And that just basically pushed me to the next, finish that project and to the next, on to the next. And, that's how life works, or that's how your career progresses. And what else? Well, we've covered everything, but I think that back to the language, I cannot stress this enough. And I'll tell you about also a bonus point. I forgot about that. But there are no secrets anymore. Online, you can find everything. So there are courses there for the UK context that you can pick up. Something like the CDM regulations, the Health and Safety Act at work. Managing safety at work, IOSH, and other stuff. So, and even the chartership. So a lot of people I'm seeing a lot more engineers from outside of the UK gain these UK qualifications and licenses and um, certificates before actually, doing their job search, which is very good because that puts them naturally just puts them ahead of others. Because if the UK context or the local context of any country you're traveling for work is everything when you're an engineer. Okay, and the other point that I get a lot of questions about is how do engineers actually land job opportunities? I'm not a visa expert. I don't know all the routes, but the three main routes that I know of are number one, the experienced route. So, as I said, if you have the right level of experience, the right level of skills, good English language, you're just going to be snatched. It's as simple as that because, and not just the UK, anywhere. Every company is looking for good talent, looking for good engineers all the time. So, you know, my number one advice for anybody who's looking to get a better opportunity is keep building your experience. Get unique experiences, diverse experiences, get more experiences than others. So that's just the number one route, and that's the majority of the engineers, especially the really good engineers that I see here and meet here from outside of the UK, are the ones that already come with a wealth of experience on big projects, on big substations, and on big energy schemes all around the world. So, um, and those people are they're here by choice, and they can even they're probably, when you talk to them, you'll find that they have been offered jobs or opportunities elsewhere as well. So it's not just the UK. When you work on your experience, that's your best investment for your career. The second route is similar to the one I came through here, is the internal transfer. So if you're in another country and you work for a multinational company that has offices in the UK and one that encourages the global mobility of talent, then that is an easier path as well. And you could then, formalize plans for development. One of them being, getting exposure in a different country on different projects for some time or whatever. So that's another route that engineers can follow. And again, a lot of people take that route. And again, this is why when people come to me and they are already working for one of these big companies, I don't want to name any, but they are quite known, those big players. And those big companies, are the best place to, well, some of them anyway, are the best places to develop, to build your experience, to build your, track record of strong delivery of projects, to network, to find mentors. It's each one of those companies are their own ecosystem, really, and they are a unique opportunity. And they might not be, let's say, the ultimate, goal, but people spend decades in companies like that, and they seem to enjoy it. I certainly spent 12 years with one of those companies before moving. So again, you know, that's a very, very viable route. And it's a very good route, and it's not a stressful one, and it's a more smooth one. It's an easier one because the systems of the company you're gonna transfer through. You know a lot about the processes. You've got your contacts and your networks, so you're not really starting from scratch like any others traveling for work. And the third route is, if you can afford it or if you can get a scholarship, you come here and you study, and then you're given some kind of visa that you can work on or work through. But I'm not sure about the ins and outs of that. As I said, I'm not a visa expert. So that is also a route that I find a lot of younger engineers do. But again, there's a lot of competition there because just imagine how many people go through university and how many people can take that step from outside of the UK. So that's a route that I don't think. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure. But before I say anything, but it might be a route that no, I prefer someone, or if it was me, I would do it again the same way. I would gain experience, gain strong experience, work on big projects, and then consider a move. But look, there's no right or wrong way. Okay, so okay, so let's take this question. We'll take some questions before. Okay, we're half an hour, so it's good. LinkedIn is somehow not working for me. I am from Egypt, okay, and want to know the steps to go to the UK. By the way, I'm a fresh graduate. So I've just gone through the routes. If you're a fresh graduate, you can come for a master's and then maybe get a job. I don't know. It's automation and maintenance sector. I'm not sure which one. Are you an electrical engineer? My best advice to you is, or if it was me, I would, as I said, gain the experience and work on my language skills, experience, skill set, etc., and then get a good opportunity. Otherwise, maybe the opportunities might not be the best, or if any, for that, because there are graduates here and the competition is high. How to switch to HVDC renewables projects? Okay. Some skills are transferable. So when it comes to HVDC, for instance, people who have worked on facts or worked on power electronics based projects, or worked on substations, I've seen a lot of people do that switch, and it's transferable skills. And I think it's just like any other switch within the industry. When it comes to renewables, again, there is a lot of demand for engineers in renewable projects, and yeah, it's not. I don't think it's a difficult thing if you've got the right experience. It's not a difficult thing to change your kind of or your line of work within the similar industry. It's very, very transferable. Okay, good question here. How has your experience transitioning from Egyptian standards, regulations, and design practices to European ones influenced your approach to this substation design? What challenges did you face? Yeah, I mainly worked in Saudi Arabian standards, and there is a lot of commonalities between standards everywhere for substations. Most of the equipment and the substations, they follow the IEC and the European standards, and a lot of the European standards come from British standards and vice versa. So there is a lot of common points and themes. So the challenge was, what challenges did you face? I think, of course, the challenge is always a new place and a new system of work, a new client. So my biggest challenge coming here was a new client. It was Network Rail, and I had to go through a lot of the certification that I wouldn't have coming from a completely different place. So that was the challenge. Although I knew how to design like substations and systems and protection and control and automation. The client was a new client to me, so I had to get to know them. They had to get to know me. develop that trust, and yeah. So, and how did you adapt? I yeah, I think I don't know. I grew up in a multicultural place anyway, so adaptation is not a big challenge for me. I think that you can adapt when you first of all have some confidence that you want to learn the language and express yourself more, and not feel shy when when you get something wrong, and want to stop the conversation to ask a question or understand more from the person you're speaking with or talking to, etc. So yeah, adaptation is, and it also helps moving with your family. You've got support. Having friends here, they supported me a lot, so I knew people here already. And yeah, and again, I moved within ABB, so I used to work for ABB, which is called Hitachi Energy now, I think. And I knew the systems, I knew the equipment, I knew like a lot of the ins and outs in substation automation and protection and control projects. So I didn't find it really, impossible. It was an enjoyable challenge. And again, as I told you, like I would always encourage people to travel and try different things and new things. Okay, same question as before. Da, 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 da. I'm working in the power sector in substation operations, currently working in Abu Dhabi government sector. Do you feel working in the UK will have additional benefits? Um, Tough question, this one. Have additional benefits. What do you call, I mean, benefits as in what? Like, is it the money? Is it the work-life balance? I don't know. I mean, Abu Dhabi is a really, really good place, an excellent place. And working over there is, I think it's a popular destination for people from all around the world. So it depends really on your character and what you're looking for. And again, if you're just after a change or experiencing something new, sure, go for it. But I don't think the word benefits is like a comparison term, because there are benefits everywhere you go, and there are good things and not so much good things everywhere you go. But again, like Abu Dhabi is a really good place. So it depends what you're after. Okay, someone's saying an electrical engineer with 10 years experience in building construction and data centers. Please let me know if my experience suits for UK jobs. You're going to have to apply for jobs in that sector and find out. And that's a journey you have to go on. But what I can tell you is the UK is booming when it comes to data centers. There is a lot of companies here working on data centers. There's going to be billions of, dollars or pounds or whatever invested in data centers because of the push for AI. That's just not in the UK, that's globally, probably trillions globally. Okay, next question. I work for offshore wind farm low voltage for foundations. Suggest a career path in the UK. Again, it's the offshore companies and the renewables companies in the UK and the contractors would be your, and there are a lot of owners and investors also in this space. So if you have the right experience, work on a strong CV, make sure your language skills are at a good level, and you can apply for jobs and find out for yourself. Okay, this is a good question. Do you think switching from building services engineer to energy sector is good at the current market? So we need building services engineers in energy anyway. So when we're building substations, we need building services engineers, and sometimes they call them M&E, they call them MEP. We call them building services. So they are necessary. um, within the substation construction. That's for sure. And building services engineers will design and commission, test, install, construct whatever systems in the control buildings, the GIS buildings, the different buildings and amenities in the substation. So there is work there for um, electrical. Um, Sorry, building services engineers. Where's the question? Oh yeah. Okay. Your opinion about electrical engineers. Your opinion about electrical engineers demand data center. I don't understand the question. Okay, electrical engineers demand for data centers. I've talked about it a lot. I've written on it on Substack. Check my Substack. I've got a lot of like stuff on that, especially data centers. It's just gonna be crazy because I think AI is the big push. Everybody knows it's no secret. And when it comes to energy, it's going to be the number one factor. And even the other day, I watched a video talking about how are they going to measure the efficiency of AI. It's going to be token per, can't remember, something per watt. So it's they are gonna, or basically they're looking at coupling AI with energy as a measurement of its efficiency. So it's really interesting space. Okay, another question from Yogesh. I have 12 experience in plant engineering, oil and gas in UAE, little knowledge in power systems. Now I want to learn new like HVDC substation converters. Want to make careers in up. Okay, there's a lot in this question. So first of all, you have little knowledge in power systems. If you're an electrical engineer, or if you're an engineer who worked on oil and gas, let's say offshore platforms, then that's very, very relevant and transferable to offshore wind platforms. As a matter of fact, it's the closest anyone would get to that in terms of skills and experience. So don't, give up. This is a good start. And when it comes to HVDC, well, you need to apply for these jobs and you need to take the courses for power electronics, especially converters. They are mainly electronics. And dare I say it, it's more electronics. Want to make careers in upcoming renewable energy projects like HVDC, grid, and more. I don't understand the rest of the question. I'm sorry. Um, Wale. Hello, Wale. How are you? Wale is an excellent engineer and he shares very, very interesting stuff. Just wanted to say he shares very interesting stuff about what he does with SSE. What do I need to switch from a core 11 kV designer to BESS or renewable connection? There's a lot of, well, 11 kV as in substations or cables, or they're all transferable at the end of the day, Wally. I think it's easily transferable. What I would do is within the organization you work in, start talking to your line manager or whoever is, can help you with making that switch internally first for, that kind of project you are looking for. Um, do you feel salary benefits offered in UK after taxes better than Middle East? Salary questions are everywhere. I get a lot of comments about salaries. I don't know, people. Okay, I know money is very important for all of us, but I've said this before, and I've also written on Substack about this. There is a problem with looking at a figure and saying, oh, this is the average figure. I don't think that's the right way. I think, first of all, you need to understand where you are in terms of your experience level, in terms of years of experience, because that's on paper the benchmark that everybody uses. Okay, that's something that is solid. Your years of experience are the solid measure. And then on top of that, a lot of other things will come, your reputation, personal brand, excuse me, skill set, your ability to work on, high or multidiscipline projects, complex projects, all that good stuff. Your CV, if you've worked on the big projects with big clients, all these things add to your remuneration. And then once you know where you are, talk to the right people, talk to recruiters. Again, a lot of people don't. You need to talk to recruiters, even if you're not looking. Recruiters can, especially the good ones, they can tell you, okay, yeah, tell me where you are, level of experience, what kind of projects you worked on. Okay, that's going to be your range. And if you're not comfortable talking to recruiters, fine. Check, job websites like Glassdoor, um, Indeed. I think LinkedIn as well started putting like benchmarks on salaries. But again, a disclaimer, please, please, please. If you are thinking about salaries or talking about salaries, do not compare to an average number without knowing the context. You got to know the context, because some industries will pay better than others. Some companies will pay better than others. And there are reasons for that. So you need to be very clear about, where where you are in terms of like experience levels. Okay. Can you still see me and hear me? Can you see me and hear me? What happened? Can you put in the comments, please, if you can still see me and hear me? Okay, for some reason it's just dropped out. Okay, yes. Okay, good. I don't know, shall we call it a day or shall we carry on? Please tell me in the comments. Yes. Okay. And visible. Good. Okay. Okay, that's fine. Now, after working for 5 years in India, I moved to Saudi for another thing. Yeah, hi Navid. Good experience, excellent. So since last year, I'm on Equip. It looks like got stagnated a bit. Slow project, small things, seen as huge. I need to ask if I started, or is this okay? So as I told you, in some projects they're gonna be slower, and that's just the way these projects are, and there's no problem with that. You gotta adapt. But again, it's a big market. You can find the jobs that challenge you. You need to find the job that challenge you. Of course, we all work. Okay, we have different reasons to work. Some of us, consider some reasons more than others. It's fine. That's great. But the number one priority is making sure that the job satisfies you, and it challenges you and all that. So if that's your driver, go for it. You need to find the job that satisfies that drive. Okay, I know it's the same question. Is this a repeating question for some reason? Okay, it's repeating the questions. What field sectors have a low demand in Egypt and the Gulf? I don't know. But I can tell you that there is a lot of good projects in Egypt, and very, very high level of engineering happening in Egypt and the Gulf, of course. And the UK and Europe, of course, are having their booming, in the infrastructure. So again, projects are everywhere and good engineers are everywhere. So you gotta explore your career path, and that's the exciting thing about it. If you could try different things and find out what you like and what you enjoy, then you win. Okay. Someone is asking about salary again. I don't know. I don't. Sorry, I cannot answer questions about salaries because um, it lacks a lot. The question will lack a lot of context. Which sector? Is it in energy or not? What kind of you say 14 years of experience. What kind of experience is it? Is it working in a high niche, highly specialized area? Is it something that is common? Uh, Questions about salaries are very sensitive because they are driven by your personal circumstance, and whether how your lifestyle is. Who will know all this? You will have to answer that, I'm afraid. Harris, hello, Harris. Good man. Amazing session. Thank you so much. Thanks for joining, man. Do you think career-wise it's better to work in generation or distribution? They're both great. Quick answer. Here you go. They're both great, especially generation. I mean, like the some of the projects, generation projects in the UK are amazing, honestly. And distribution, wow, because you work in distribution at the moment, right? So you know the amount of work out there. And carry on, carry on. Okay. Any other questions then before I move on to the questions I have from the past? What are the opportunities to progress in electrical engineering careers in the UK? You can progress in many ways. Technically, I see a lot of people, and this is interesting. So I see a lot of very experienced engineering managers go back to design or go back to technical work, and that's very interesting. Very, very interesting. And I didn't see this before, but I started seeing this in the last maybe 3 to 4 years, and maybe it was happening before and I didn't see it, maybe. But I think that progress is a term that, again, is personal. For some people, they want to be doing a technical job and they enjoy the problem solving and the troubleshooting and building systems, and talking technical details. And, so a lot of us are like that, engineers. Okay. And some others, like me, like talking strategy and, like team building, and constructing, putting together teams, systems, tools, and creating new streams of work and business. And so, again, you can develop or progress into management or engineering management. You can develop and progress into multidisciplinary leading and design coordination. And that's a very, very, very attractive career choice in the UK at the moment. It's just, good lead engineers will be, on the top of jobs, I think. They will be very, very well looked after. And you can, again, as I said before, you can move into contract or financial management or project management. I mean, project management is very, very important to study anyway. So if you're an engineer, even if you plan on, progressing in engineering, I strongly advise you to study project management, understand how your project flows, and what kind of like systems should be in place and how do you interact with the other functions. What are the future electrical engineering opportunities in the UK? I've talked a lot about this on Substack, so please refer to Substack. My Substack, again, you've got the links and in my profile, and I'll put it also in the comments. By the way, I might not save this link, live. Okay, so let me know in the comments if you want it saved. Do you want to watch it again, or shall I just leave it? Or because I'm starting to think that there is a lot of things on my LinkedIn profile, and I feel like I need to be selective with the stuff I put out there, and maybe not all leave it all. I might move it into Substack. I'll think about it, but let me know in the comments, please, if you really need me to leave this video or yeah. Okay, what mistakes to avoid when moving to the UK to work as an electrical engineer? I think manage your expectations. Make sure that you've got your support network around you as well in work. You're very clear about what you need to be doing in the first few months in the UK, because moving life is a challenge for all of us. Whether you're moving to the UK, you're moving out of the UK, you're going somewhere else. Moving your life as an engineer and as a person is always a challenge. There's a lot of things to do, you know, excuse me, accommodation, all that good stuff. So I think what helped me in the UK uh, is that, when I moved here, there were a few, let's say, people that I knew through other people, and there were a few friends as well, one friend as well. So they helped me massively. So if you have somebody like that, that will be great for you. And also the people at work. I mean, the people in ABB, they were brilliant. You couldn't have asked for a better group, really. I just settled in very well with them, and it was it's a memory now, but it's a brilliant one to have. Okay, next question. What are the average salaries for electrical engineers? I keep getting this question. I've answered this already. So again, don't look at average, look at ranges and make sure that you know where you are, and always approach this calmly, and because you don't want to be burning bridges anywhere. You don't want to be acting on things when you're not 100% sure or they're not sure. What are the challenges when moving from another country as an engineer? The working culture, new clients. If you're moving, across different companies or into a new company, then new systems and new ways of work. These are the biggest challenges you'll face, and of course, the environment around you. So it's a different lifestyle. How do I find the opportunities in the UK? Um, on LinkedIn. I mean, believe it or not, although I came from the same, or I worked for ABB in Saudi Arabia and I came to ABB in the UK, it wasn't like an internal transfer, but it was kind of like within the same global unit, if you like. And I found that opportunity on LinkedIn, believe it or not. So even if it's internally, or even if it's like an internal role, you might find out about it on LinkedIn. You never know, because LinkedIn is very, very good at this. The algorithm will show you what jobs they think, or the algorithm thinks you're a fit or a good fit for, and it's also looking at your search preferences. So look, learn LinkedIn. And of course, you need to network with the right people. So I think a lot of recruiters are there. And if you have the right level of experience, again, you will not struggle to find the good opportunities in the UK or elsewhere, anywhere really. What are the things you learned working in the UK? Yeah, I learned a lot of good things in the UK. So I learned that not to take anything personally. So it's just business. I learned to, I think communication is something that, I really honed in the UK. I hope so. And management, team management and organizing um, big schemes and big teams, etc. And the third thing is, and it's a very important thing, I learned in the UK to take notes like my life depends on it. Like I'm going to be in court tomorrow morning. So take notes, take notes, take notes. Okay, we said that question. What qualifications are required to work as an electrical engineer in the UK? If you're from outside of the UK, it's going to have to be, there are like qualifications that are listed on the government, I think, website. You can check them out. But usually it's a bachelor's degree, I think, or something equivalent to that. In the UK, they call it HNC and HND, I think, equivalent. I'm not the expert on that, but look, in the UK, the skills and the experience matter the most. Okay. Does anybody have any other questions? because we want to now close. It's almost an hour. I said I wasn't gonna last an hour, but I was wrong. As always, if you need anything else, please send me your questions or comment on Substack mainly. You'll find me, or you can contact me on Substack. On LinkedIn, it's really great. Thank you for the support on LinkedIn, but I'm getting a lot of messages and I'm not able to answer all of them. And there's not enough time in the day to go through the messages on LinkedIn. So if you want something, send it on Substack. On one of the posts, just comment, and I'll make sure to answer, because I get notifications about that. I don't get notifications on comments on LinkedIn. Okay, so that people know, because some people might think I'm ignoring them, or no, I'm not. LinkedIn doesn't send me notifications on the people's comments on the posts. Anyway, as always, thank you so much. I hope this was enjoyable and fun. I certainly enjoyed it, and had fun speaking with everyone and learning from everyone through their questions and comments. Thank you so much again. And as always, have a good evening and enjoy. Take care all.